Hello there, it's me, Sari, and today I'm here to show you a couple of my mixed media doll stamps from Prima. And I have tried working with them as tags, but I didn't really do it because I just started using the mixed media album papers from that Prima album. And that is because I just wanted to make them a little bit bigger than your regular cards, but still in a good shape. It's smaller than A4, and I do like this size actually, come to think of it. So what I have done with this one is that I've stamped it on a piece of paper, an old book paper actually, and before I cut it out I actually did fasten the book paper on a piece of thicker paper so I could actually cut it with my scalpel knife, cutting knife there, and not tear up the paper. Then I've gone mad with the dots, as you can see. This is a beautiful piece of paper that I usually am not inclined to work with. I'm sort of intimidated by these blossoms and everything, so I just dared to do something different this time. So, and I wanted to keep this simple, so I decided on putting a dotted dress on her, a bit of lace underneath, and I also die cut a chicken wire net from Cherry Lynn. And before I put these button decorations and this stamped image from Tim Holtz, I actually did stamp a Paris sort of a postmark stamp both on that side as well as down here. And then I added on some more buttons. I even added on some washi tape and put that saying from Tim Holtz that life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. And well, this is it. Really easy peasy, and it has mostly to do with the fact that the paper in the background is so beautiful, so that actually makes the whole concept of it. Then the next thing that I did, and I actually did stay up almost half the night finishing this, I have used the papers. Let me show you. The paper backpack actually is from a Swedish company called Panduro, and the set is called Sewing Bird. It's a paper pad, 12 by 12, and there is actually 3 of each design. So I do have quite a few papers to play with. And if you want to make a quick card or something, you could just go for that beautiful lady there, or you could go for that dotted paper that I have done. And some of the patterns actually come up twice, I think. You see, here's a wonderful layout. All you have to do is put a photo on and you're ready to go actually. So I really did fancy this when I bought it, but it has been lying in my shelves for, let's say, a year or two perhaps. But when I had started working with this, I had some leftover pieces, and I just felt like actually making them come to use, because I don't want to put things away and then forget about them. I just wanted to go ahead and use all of these die cut figures as well, because this one does have some beautiful die cut figures. So with these you actually can make an easy peasy card, or perhaps a mini album layout or something, and they are really nice to look at, I must say. This sewing machine is really nice, and that is why I chose to put that saying there, "You are so special." And here's another Prima doll stamp, and here's a Prima tag in the background as well. Here is dotted paper, but it's pink at the bottom this time, and then it's the other side of this paper. I think it was like this perhaps originally, so I just felt like putting it there yet once more. I usually have the tendency to actually have the decorations on the right side. Perhaps it has to do with the fact that I'm right-handed myself, I don't know. Then I put a piece of ruler here and all those button decorations once more, and I have fastened all these things with some 3D tape things. I suppose you can see it there. And in comparison to this one, I have used the same paper, I believe. But as you can see, there's a difference in the hue, or in the skin tone actually. So with this one, after having stamped it, I actually sprayed some white spray on top of it. It's from Memories. And it sort of clogged up in one puddle, and I just took a piece of paper or a napkin or something and just blotted it out on all of the paper before I did cut that dress and decorate that with her. So, and then I also put in some washi tape that I actually had a small roll of with that wonderful turquoise color there. So I made that pop in 3 places. And then I finished off something today, and in this case I used another girl. And I did the same thing. I've used the paper from that mixed media album, and I have put on, I usually make quite simple layouts, as you can see. I do have this piece of a background paper. In this case it's a chevron paper. I think it's from, I can't remember the company now, I'm sorry. And then I had that corrugated paper as a guideline, and then I wanted to make some sort of a cross, so I went for that paper, ruler paper, and that one is from Prima actually. It's that engraved something, and the stamps here are from Prima as well actually. And well, I just put on some decorative bands here, and also a pearl band that I glued down with my glue gun, as well as the roses here. I might go ahead putting some buttons up here and even embellish this further. I'm not sure if I'll do so, but I might do that. And then I saw in a video somebody putting a clock in this way, and I felt that was a pretty funny way to do it. So I just copied that idea really. So it's quite a dimensional thingy there. So now I'll pause and I'll come back showing you what I have started working with down here. And today I thought I'd give you a heads up on what I have started working on. I'm actually using the papers from an album from Prima that looks like this. It's a fantastic looking album. You could decorate it, you could make a mixed media thing with it, you could put tons of decoration spray and put some gesso and everything on, and then you could just start working with it either this way or perhaps even this way. And this is something that I tend to fancy more and more. I do want my pages to be, I mean, standing like that. But now I'm just taking some papers out of it, and I'm sure I could take perhaps even half of the papers without it. I mean, there's quite a lot of papers here, see. So I do feel that I can use these. And so what I started off doing was embossing the yellow paper. It's a coordinations paper actually, some sort of a honey yellow paper, and I run it through my Big Shot, and then I took my sandpaper block and just distressed the background there. And then I felt like using Tim Holtz's postage edge die, and I put it on both sides, or both up and down. And then I just wanted to work with the 4th girl that I've got. And you see that I've used all of the 4 different girls. It's a funny way actually how things work out, but I sort of have a need to work with these girls right now. So I did cut her out, color her in quickly, and I was thinking that this is a nice color combo. But then I felt like being a bit bold. So I die cut this paper. And this is the Tim Holtz's new postage post stamp die. I'll show you. Postage stamp frame die it is, and it's a big die, so you can actually put things in here if you wanted to die cut something else. But in this case I die cut this one, and then I felt like using Tim Holtz's texture fade with the Times Square and King's Highway and everything, just to give this a travel theme. So I was thinking that perhaps I could be bold enough to actually put that one there, and I have colored the raised bits with some frayed burlap, and now you can actually see it really nicely. So I'm thinking that perhaps this could be there, and then the girl with her dress there. It's sort of a coral color. So I do feel like it actually could work. A bit more strong and bold in its statement. So this is what I have to work with. And I also die cut this picture wheel. It's a new die from Tim Holtz, and I have put some distress ink on top of that just to give it a distressed look, really. And I'm thinking of putting it there. So it will actually break up nicely and even go back to that honeycomb pattern even nicely, perhaps. I did put some pieces of washi tape there that looked like a zipper. And then I came up with the idea of actually making this one come to life by putting it like so, and just adding on these black things, since I did have the black postage mark things there, actually make them come to life and sort of keep it cohesive. So perhaps I could even dare to put some black flowers on this one just to keep it in a different colour scheme. And now I have added on some half pearls up here and down here. I thought that that would give her some pop somehow. I sort of think that perhaps I did make it too dark, but I'm hoping I'll be able to make it work. And I just have to think about where I put her, so she could have something light popping up underneath the dress. I could of course also go for some lace or something underneath here, perhaps put it under the dress, because it is something that I have layered with some glue. So there is a chance of me putting some kind of a lace here if I wanted to make this even more special. I'm sorry for my hoarse voice, I didn't know what happened. It's morning, you know, early morning. And now I just thought I'd show you that I actually put in some more ink on those raised bits there, and I used the Archival Inks Jet Black ink pad to do so, because I did want that black to pop up even more. Hello there, and now that I'm ready to glue this one down on the surface down here, just look at how the black ink has smudged off onto that. It doesn't matter for me. And now, since I do want to lift this one up, instead of just keeping everything flat, I thought I'd lift it up, and instead of going for this foam tape that I see sometimes actually releasing from the surface, and especially now since I do have something embossed here, I thought I'd go for whatever I had on the table here to give myself some height, and this corrugated paper is giving me the proper height I need. And in this case I'm actually free to just put the glue on, and hopefully I'll be able to glue this one down and lift it up a little to give it some definition, extra definition. So this is the way I like to do things. Just make use of what you got, be innovative and reuse the things that you've got. So recycle as much as you can. Let's see, I think I'm ready to go for this system now. And I did cut this one, as you see, in order to make it visible on the yellow background as well as on the craft background. So I hope that this stripiness makes it pop, but this is the way I should do it actually. This is the thing to put there first, and I do like it being a little bit outside, and I thought I'd go for this one, and in this case I can actually hide the hole there as well, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to decorate it with something later. And I think this is going to be nice, so I'm just going to glue this one down, leaving this bit here free. Just going to put some glue here. I think that's enough.
I do like working with my glue gun actually. And then I need to check this one once more. You know, I did have it on over the hole, so that's one guideline. But then again, I need to cut that a little bit because it seems like I'll be losing that possibility otherwise. And if I put it there, it's sort of in the center, isn't it? Goodness me. I do believe that it's going to be all right. So now what I can look for is how am I going to be able to glue this one down. When I see under here, I can actually hide that one. I can actually put the glue here and there. So I'm hoping I'll be able to make it stick with the glue there and there. There was a big blob of glue there, so I need to watch my fingers so I don't burn them as I did now. But there is something here. And then I have to think about how I'm going to fasten those later. But when it comes to this girl, I'm thinking either I should let her go on top of this one here with her body like that, or I could actually let that be visible under her arm, and I do think that's a pretty one. And I then also like the fact of actually letting that be visible there and still having this light bit there, but I somehow like her being out there as well. But since I have glued it down there, could try and lift it up. Hope I won't break it. Just trying to lift up the glue in itself, because otherwise I'm afraid this film strip will break. So if I'm going to let that go a little bit on the outside really, I'm leaving the glue there, and I'm going to put the glue on the same spot once more, but now I'll be shifting it a little bit there. So I'm hoping to be able to get the best of both worlds here. And this was my intention from the get-go really, now that I come to think of it, because I do want this one to be there, so there could be a chance for me to make some kind of a cross line there. So now I do have the possibility of making it visible through her arm and still make the dress pop out on the side there to give it some kind of a structural definition, and then I could have that light bit there. So for now I'll just glue her down, body there. So I'm going to make a stripe, a line like this. And as for the head, I see that I need to build it up, and in that case also actually glue this one down. So I'm just going to let this one cool for a second, and then I'll be at it with another layer of glue pretty soon. So in this case I'm just looking if I will be able to put her there in a plain fashion, or perhaps I would need to put some glue here also and let that dry in between. So in that way I'm actually lifting her up in the same fashion that I did with the corrugated paper there really. So it's a nice tip actually to use the glue to more than just gluing things down. It's an easy tool to use. So if I'm going to put it like so, I feel like the feet need more, but the head is all right there. So I need to put another layer there, especially around the feet, and let that dry for a minute or two. The good thing about the glue gun is that the glue actually dries pretty quickly, but that's also the benefit or the disadvantage at sometimes, because you don't have that much time to actually move things around or think about things, because it does tend to dry pretty quickly. But when it has dried, it actually sticks, so that's the best thing of all. So I'm thinking, now that I put it there, you know, there's, well, the real problem of course is that film strip, so perhaps I ought to put the glue on that one instead and let it dry in between, so I can have something to fasten that one with, so it won't be flat on the surface later. I'm thinking that I could do the same thing for this one actually, and I'm just going to use that picture divider bit there and let it dry. And the reason for me having this problem of course is that I did put that corrugated paper underneath. So, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of work to do before I can get that to be even. So I'll be fiddling with that and I'll come back later on. Bye bye. And now it's time to glue on a statement, and I chose a stamp that says be different, be irreplaceable. And I'm sorry to say, but I don't know the company. I did buy this stamp years ago and I haven't used it as much as I want to. But in this case I just felt like making it come to use again. I'll show you the stamp in a second or two. I see I have it still on my clear block there. Let's see if I can get rid of those glue threads as well. I think I'll just put it straight like so. You know, there was a time when I didn't really know that much about the brands or so, but now I do take care of knowing and learning. I do have a couple of threads here. I thought I'd just put this embosser gun hit tool to use. And the heat actually makes them disappear, almost anyway, at least the thin ones. They do disappear really nicely, so they just evaporate sort of. Here is the stamp. Be different, be irreplaceable, and it doesn't have any brand. It's a stamp that I have had to mount myself. It could be crafty individuals or something. I do believe that it might be that, but I'm not going to swear on it. So this is it so far. Be different, be irreplaceable, and that's what I want everybody to actually have the strength and courage to be. I'll have to see if I'm going to do any more decorating with these, but looking and comparing this one with the others, you see that I have gone from the pretty in pink and blue to making it even more massively with that, with those die cuts and such, and it was quite fun actually to get them, put them to use. And then I went ahead and did a sort of freestyle spin on this, and I do like this even though it's a pretty plain one. And with this one I had the chance of thinking outside the box, I could say, and trying out different things. And I did lay on yet a third layer of black ink on that one, so that actually makes it pop better. Just imagine how faint it would have been looked if I hadn't gone for the black ink on that one. So I'm glad I did that. So I'll just have to see what I can do with this later. Bye bye.